Hey guys, thanks for watching. My name is Matthew Courville.
And I'm Caleb Begno with Matthew Courville's Taxidermy.
The goal of this video is to teach you how to properly cape out your deer.
Look guys, we've been getting a lot of questions on what to do with this new law that was recently passed and how to get your deer across state lines, and we're going to show you how to do that.
If you have any questions about the law specifically, please visit Wildlife and Fisheries website, which will be listed below, or contact them directly via phone.
Look guys, be sure to check out future videos. We're going to show you how to properly quarter your deer to get them across state lines. Also tips and tricks on how to get your trophy from the field to your preferred taxidermist of choice.
Also, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, or you can visit our website or us directly, located on 549 Exit 4 in Carencro, across the street from Walmart. Without further ado, Caleb's going to get to the back and we'll get to skinning. Thanks again for tuning in.
Alright guys, we're here with a nice Texas buck we're going to go ahead and cape out for you. Look guys, you don't need a lot of things to be able to do this. All you need is a good sharp blade. I prefer to use a scalpel. It's very easy, cheap. You throw them away, reuse them. That's all you need. And then we have some trash bags when we're done. That's it. That's all you're going to need for this. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to do what's called a Y incision. Basically, I'm going to start right here at this point. And I'm going to come straight back. And just go all the way down. I'm going to follow it, coming all the way down its back. Until I get to about right here, right past this meat. Then I'm going to go back up to this point and go all the way to the antler burr. What you want to do is be careful not to cut any hair. You can kind of see I'm pulling it away, getting it out of my way. And I'm always going underneath and trying not to go against the hair, always going with it. So I get up to this antler burr here. Then all I'm going to do is come back to this point. If you need, you can always kind of bring it together. Help you if you can't actually find where it's at. Just kind of bring it back together. Back up to this second one. Now you can see right here, kind of start pulling this a little bit away, and you're going to slowly start working this all the way back. Once again, pull all the hair out of the way. Don't worry about trying to take all the meat off. It's not that big of a deal if a little bit of it stays on there. It's better to have a little bit of meat than holes. You can work your way back up to the antler burr again. Be careful around this ear. You can kind of see I'm getting close to it. Once I get to this point, I'll just kind of work on the other side. So just be careful. As you're coming around here, you can kind of see, I'm going to take my knife underneath the skin, and I'm just kind of following the bone itself onto this antler burr and all the way up. That's okay with scalpel blades. They break on a regular basis. Not a big deal. They're cheap. They're a couple of cents. And that's why I use them. Put a fresh one on and start over. Another method that you can use, once you kind of get it started, you can kind of just peel it and just kind of pry on it, and it'll start peeling it away, and that way you don't have to actually work that blade around that part anymore. Alright. The same thing on the back half of the skin, all the way up to that antler burr, and you can just kind of pull, and it'll help you out. Same thing on this side. One of the things I like to do is, like I said, I like to pull and kind of help start it out. That way you can work that blade all the way underneath there. And every deer is going to be a little different. Some of them skin out a little easier. Some of them will be a little bit harder. Once you get to this ear, you can kind of see, and you can, once again, you can pull this hair back, kind of move it around, and you can see I'm all the way back to this point right here. So instead of continuing to skin it all the way down, you can kind of see this little piece of cartilage right here. Make sure you come right here down through this muscle and just cut straight down. As you're doing this, you're kind of pulling on this ear until eventually you can see that you just cut through the ear canal, nice and deep. You can kind of work it away. You can see when this skin, or when the meat kind of pulls away from this skin. There you go. And then continue to go around that antler burr. Remember I said you can just pull on it, and there you go, it just auto came off. And we're going to flip back around and go to the other side. So again, you can kind of pull. It'll get started for you. Make it a little easier to where you can see and get that scalpel blade all the way underneath, or knife, whatever you're using. Once again, you can see we're kind of back on this ear. You can see this muscle. So we're going to go ahead and just go straight down. At the same time, you're just kind of pulling away at the ear, making sure that you're not going to cut it short. There's the ear canal that we just passed through. And then we're going to continue to go around the antler burr. If you need, put down the blade, go ahead and pull on it a little bit. Remember, this isn't a race. You're just trying to go nice and slow. Make sure you're not making any cuts through the hide. And you can pull if you can, and it'll just help. And when you made your decision all the way back here, for whatever reason it wasn't far enough, don't be afraid to just go ahead and pull it down a little bit more if you need to. I try to keep them nice and short as best as I can, but if you need to, it's not the end of the world if it gets a little long. Once I get it past this piece here, what I'll do is flip my horns up to kind of rest on its own, and I'll just kind of peel this skin back, which in turn is going to just help show me where I gotta go. Just like caping a deer, you're just going to slowly start peeling it back. Now just be careful when you're coming around here on the underneath side of the neck. The skin itself is very, it's a lot thinner than what you're just working with, and it is a whole lot easier to cut. So just go nice and slow. Like I said, if you leave a little meat on it, not that big of a deal. You can always go back later and take it off. Better have a little bit of meat left on there than holes. All right, so now that we're going down that, we'll go ahead and turn this on the side. Now this part right here gets a little bit tricky. This is the eye, and obviously it's not something that you want to mess up on. So just keep kind of working it down. Now what you can do is you can actually take your finger and shove it in the eye socket and peel it back over, and you kind of know about where that's at. So I can see that I'm not there yet. At this point, I'm just going to kind of go and keep passing it along the skull as close as I can, and I can see the start of this eye socket. And that's what I want to do. I want to just take my blade and just follow the edge of that socket and start taking some of that, more of that cartilage type material off and taking it with me. Once I do this and get a little piece there, once again, stick your finger in here and you can see the blue of my glove right here, and that's what you want to see. So I want to go as far back as I can and just make a slow little incision, just like that. And now I can see, and if I want, I can stick my whole finger through here and just slowly go around, keep pulling. What you want is, you can see this eyelid here. This is what you want to make sure that you leave on here. This is what we need as taxidermists. Go around here nice and slow. Same thing on the top. Once again, you can stick your finger. My finger goes all the way through and through, so you can kind of pull back. That way you know you have it, and just keep going around. You can kind of pull this back and just going to go straight down. Slow, soft little cuts. You don't need to take big chunks at a time. That way you kind of see what you're doing. There's a little little piece right here that you'll have to kind of come over. I'm not going to get too technical with names and things like that. It's not that big of a deal. Just make it come over. Now you're going into the tear duct, and you can kind of see, if I just went straight down right here, I would cut a hole and you'd have a hole there. So you just want to, once again, use your thumb, use your fingers, and just kind of find where that is, and just make nice little slow cuts. It's not a rush. It's not seeing how fast we can go. All right, and that's the first eye. It's done. We'll move back over. You can look at it from this angle. Once again, I'm just following the skull right here. I'm just gonna go down. I can kind of see already where this eye socket is gonna start in reference to this antler burr. So I'm just gonna kind of take my blade and just go nice and down and keep pulling with pressure away from it. And you can see that cartilage is kind of coming off with it, and that's what I want. Once again, if you need, shove your finger in here and kind of start seeing and feeling where you're at. See, once again, here's my finger. You can kind of see it. And all I'm going to do is slow incision. And if I needed to, I can shove my finger through, pull back and away, and just, kind of let that force help me with the work. Once again, once you get past this point, you get to that tear duct. If I just made a straight down cut right here, I would cut through that tear duct. Not the end of the world. It's going to be okay, but you know what? Once again, if we go nice and slow, we can help our taxidermists out. I'm just going to go around it, taking my fingers, kind of pulling away, and staying close to the skull as I can. As you can see, there's really not a lot of meat left on the face, so it's not like you have to worry about anything, staying on the hide or anything like that. You can stay as close as you want to this skull. I'm just going to continue this process down and just peeling it down. Once again, you can kind of see this skin gets real thin right here, so make sure that you actually, getting the meat off of it and not just the skin itself. as you follow that skull. So you can see right here, once again it's getting thin. This is the cheek. And if you kind of start feeling around right here, you'll start feeling these teeth. So let it come down a little ways. Peel it back, you know, kind of as far as you can take it. You don't have to get too crazy with it. Same thing on the other side. So once again, I'm just pulling this skin away from it and using that to help me. I'm making nice, soft little cuts. I'm really not putting a lot of pressure on this blade and just letting the knife do the work for me. So you can see this is the cheek basically, and you can kind of see this moving around, and this is where it attaches to. Once you kind of get this down a little piece like this, what you can do is start at the back of this cheek, because we need some of this meat left on here. So just make an incision straight down, and it should open up and see the teeth. So if you back here where these teeth kind of, the very back teeth start, you made a good cut there, and that's what you need. Now what you want to do is, you can kind of see where the bone actually is in the teeth, and you want to cut as closest to that as you can as you come up. You can cut this meat off and just follow that bone a little bit and do the same thing back here. You're going to follow this bone and cut straight down, and you kind of see how, you know, has like almost like that little membrane type look to it. Do the same thing on the other side. You're just going to kind of feel back here with your finger, kind of feel some of those teeth, make a cut straight down. Once again, you can see these teeth. You're just going to open it up and kind of follow those teeth and follow that jawbone. All right. Now I'm going to flip this gear back up, take this hide over, get it looking like this. So what I did is, you can actually look through right here, and you can see that where I went at. So you're going to come at this front, the bottom jaw here, and you're just going to make a cut, go across. You can kind of see how this, you know, they got this like membrane, what it look like on the skin. And just kind of follow that close to the jaw. Once again, the cool thing with scalpel blades, if you feel it's not sharp enough, take it off, get you a new one. So one thing you want to make sure you have throughout this whole thing is a very sharp knife. The sharper it is, the easier it makes it. As you're skinning around these things, because these membranes are kind of slimy, and this just makes it nice and easy. Once again, we're going to follow this jawline. So you can see, I don't want to come way down here. I want to make sure I'm staying right here. You can just make a straight cut, meeting this cut that you made right here. And there you go. And you just kind of peel it back. The little meat stays on. Once again, not a big deal. You'll do the same thing on this side. You can just kind of go straight down. Now if you look, you can see right here is where I already cut all the way up until. So I can take this cut and just continue it all the way to meet this one. Following it along here. Like I said, leave a little meat on there if you have to. It's not the end of the world. It's not like it's a lot of meat anyway. You can go down in here. This is where I made that cut from that back side. You can already see it. So you can just take your knife. Let me move this tongue out of the way. You just take your knife here, just go straight up, meet that one, and just continue peeling it back. And just kind of pull it away. You can see down in here, obviously on the back side of it, we're already kind of skinned through right there. So make sure you get all these little pieces off, like that. And a little membrane sticking on. You can do the same thing. If you want, you could start from the bottom. See, you had already cut all the way up to right here. So you can start here, go follow the top of this jawline, go all the way up, pulling this nose pad down, coming around. If you wanted to do it the other way, you could have started right here on the top of the nose pad, made an incision, and you could have just stayed going down. Either way, doing the same thing, just whatever you feel more comfortable with. Now the top of this nose pad, you're going to use your hands, pull it away, and just go kind of straight down, and you'll see you're going to cut through this cartilage. That's what you want to do. And you can see the nasal passage, and you want to just keep kind of cutting straight down. You'll get to a point where you kind of can't anymore. That's good. Stay right here. Keep cutting this away and peeling it nice and soft. Now if you're worried about maybe where to make this cut up, you don't want to cut all the way through the hide, not a big deal. You can pull this thing back down, pull this over. Now all you have to do is just continue skinning it down just like you recently did. You can kind of cut through some of this meat right here because we don't need that anymore. Same thing on the other side. And you just make a cut straight through right here. As you can see, there's really not much left holding this on. You're just going to kind of continue working yourself down. Same thing on this side. Now if you start feeling, you can kind of feel where this is bone, hard bone, and this gets to be that, kind of softer cartilage. Once you get to that point, you can just cut straight down. And basically, you can kind of see it's pretty much there. I'm just kind of pulling it away. It's where you went straight back with when you made that cut from the top. And that's it. From here, my recommendation, you can kind of fold this back. Look, if you had any kind of big chunks of meat left on back here, at this time you can go ahead, kind of take off some of that big meat. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal. You want to make sure, what I like to do is, I fold the face back over onto itself. I'll fold the two ears onto themselves, and I'll just roll this hide up, double bag it in a bag, bring it to your taxidermist, stick it in a cooler. Once again, you want to make sure that this stays cool and dry. You don't want to put this in the ice chest with the water slushing all around. This needs to stay cool and dry. All right, guys, so look, got them bagged up, real simple, nothing to it on there. Now look, I know we said we didn't need a lot of tools to cape them out, and yeah, that is true. I use a reciprocating saw, battery powered. Sure, a lot of you guys probably have them anyway. Great thing to have with you at the camp. Look, you can use it to trim trees and everything like that. I use the pruning blade on it that I pick up from Lowe's. But if you don't have that and you just have a regular old meat handsaw, works just as good. But for the amount of volume that we take in, you got to use that because my arms will get pretty tired. So on here, if we're looking at this, what we want to do is, and I'll kind of just show you, I'm going to make a cut, and I want to keep this angle going all the way down like this. So if I'm going to cut it here, if you follow my blade on the side right here, this is the angle that I want to kind of keep straight down. So we'll get right to it. I'll put this right on here. And now one of the things to look at is how far you are going to be away from this eye socket right here. You don't want to be right on it and take off the eye socket. At the same time, you don't want to be way up here right next to this antler burr. So once again, if you don't feel comfortable using the reciprocating saw, regular old hand saw works just as fine. Once again, y'all can see the angle that this is taken down. And I'm continuing to go straight down in that angle. Or if you want to look at it from this side. Now you kind of keep going down. You kind of felt when this broke apart. When it breaks apart like this, all I do is I pull it straight back and I go like this. Now my method is, you can see right here how this is meat and this is back to the bone. I'll cut right underneath this little junction right here where it goes from this thick bone to this little thin wall piece right here. I'm going to put my blade about right here and I'm going to go straight back. And until you go all the way through. Now be careful when you're coming straight back. This is a pretty typical rack right here. It's not too crazy or has any kind of deformations on it. Just make sure when you're putting your blade back, make sure you look everywhere. You don't want to hit this horn with this. Once it pops off like this, I go back to my trusty scalpel and I just cut this meat off. Now here's the top part of the brain. It'll just fall right out. Now what you want to do to get this back across state lines, you'll see there's this membrane right here. So I just kind of peel it away. For the most part, I don't even use a scalpel, just use my finger. That's why I always bring gloves with me anyway, but it's not that big of a deal. Wash your hands. But you want to make sure you peel all of this out. So you get all of this brain matter out right there. There's nothing left in here. It's nice and clean. We actually throw borax on it. I'm sure most of y'all are not gonna bring a box of borax with you inside the in the field. Not that big of a deal. Clean it out. What I do is I take my knife and I continue going all the way around here, just basically following this skull plate, taking any of this excess meat. That way when you're bringing it back, you know, you don't have to worry about any kind of smells. Just take as much meat off of it as you can. Sorry. You kind of see how this makes a little indentation. You just follow this skull cap all the way around. Pull off all of this meat. And that's it. At this point, the only thing I'm gonna do is I would just throw some borax on here. Like I said, if you don't have that out there, not a big deal. If you wanna let it soak in a little bit of water, something like that, make sure all this meat kind of keeps coming off, it'll be fine. But this is nice and clean. If you had some salt, something like that, you could also rub some salt to help take all that moisture out of there. And if you wanted to and you're worried about the smell, kind of wrap that with a little trash bag or something and it'll be just fine. And you're good to take it back across state lines, just like that. Alright guys, hope this video was informative for you. If you have any other questions or concerns, be sure to stop by or you can just give us a call. If you're going on an out-of-state trip, go ahead and stop by. We'll walk you through exactly what you need to do step for step.
Also remember that we do offer 2 convenient services, both deer processing and taxidermy. We are conveniently located off exit 4 in Carencro across the street from Walmart, and we thank you for watching.
Alright, and make sure to share our video. Thank you.